the same. Rises the moon. Days fade into a watercolor blur. Memories swim and haunt you, but look into the lake, shimmering like smoke. Rises the moon. Oh, close your weary eyes. I promise you that soon the autumn comes to darken fading summer skies. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Days pull you down just like a sinking ship.
So we're about to start Harry Potter.
Floating is getting
I just wanted to welcome you to my very first Harry Potter vlog, where we're going to be reading Harry Potter. We're going to be eating Harry Potter-esque things that are, you know, in the books and in the cookbook, which I'll put up right here. Yes, oh my gosh, I am so thrilled that we're doing Harry Potter. I even have a little Hogwarts ambiance setting. It's like a common room with a fireplace and a picture of Mr. Dumbledore. Yeah, I just am so excited. We have the Sorcerer's Stone in our hand, and we're going to start diving into this as it is still very much so winter and cold. I've always felt that Harry Potter was meant to be read either during the summer, because it does feel like, boarding school in the summertime, and there's such lush grounds and greenery all over Hogwarts and all over that Wizarding World universe. It is England after all, right? Where it's like, we know that England is like renowned and known for their gorgeous gardens. So, you know, English gardens. But anywhoosies, the Sorcerer's Stone, I have read this one time about 11, 12 years ago, and I don't recall a damn thing. I don't recall a damn thing. As I've stated before in previous vlogs, I have watched Harry Potter before, and I feel, you know, quite left out, and I want to be able to just finally be part of the Wizarding World community. I love saying Wizarding World, if you couldn't tell. Yeah, I just feel like it's time. It's time. This is like one of the most popular books of all time, you know, best-selling, comforted, loved by millions, if not billions of people. I need to know. I need to know. So we're going to be doing that, and I'm so excited to bring you guys along with me. She thinks she's Voldemort now because, you know. Ooh. I'm gonna read the first page for you, and I'm sure a lot of people kind of know this. And you know, when people like are singing, or not even singing, or doing a speech or whatever, or are reading something off, and then somebody in the side is like mouthing it because they know it so well. It's so funny. So if you do, you know, want to do that while I'm reading, please be my guest and let me know if you did in the comments. Okay, Chapter 1: The Boy Who Lived. Mr. and Mrs. Dursley of number 4 Privet Drive were proud to say that they were perfectly normal. Thank you very much. They were the last people you'd expect to be involved in anything strange or mysterious, because they just didn't hold with such nonsense. Mr. Dursley was the director of a firm called Grunnings, which made drills. He was a big, beefy man with hardly any neck at all, although he did have a very large mustache. Mrs. Dursley was thin and blonde, and had nearly twice the usual amount of neck, which came in very useful, as she spent so much of her time craning over garden fences, spying on the neighbors. The Dursleys had a small son called Dudley, and in their opinion, there was no finer boy anywhere. The Dursleys had everything they wanted, but they also had a secret, and their greatest fear was that somebody would discover it. Okay, so I've been reading, and I'm at the very beginning of the book, nascent areas of the book. So you already know. So Harry Potter has not even he hasn't been seen yet. He hasn't even made his not introduction, but his appearance yet. Who the Dursleys hate anybody who's a wizard, okay? So we're basically in this scene where Mr. Dursley went off to work, and a bunch of wizards are kind of celebrating and overjoyed because you know who has vanished. He's just gone. And everybody's kind of like celebrating and just like over the moon happy. So you can already, obviously sense that, the Dursleys are like, irritating people who, give, what's his name? Dudley, basically everything, from the way that he seems like a spoiled brat who throws tantrums and who just, you silly little tyke, So I'm at the very beginning, if you can imagine, Mr. Dudley, their names are so close, Dudley Dursley. He's seen the cat outside, and I was like, what is that cat doing? I was like, oh yeah, that's Mcgonagall. Oh yeah. Basically, there's a scene where Mr. Dursley is kind of like wrestling with his thoughts as to whether or not he should tell Petunia what he's seen and what he's overheard throughout the day. So he's like trying to make this kind of autonomous decision to whether or not to tell Petunia about, the Potters and whatnot. And that only, of course, upsets her. So yeah. So now I'm really at the beginning, as I said. So we're at the part where Mcgonagall and Dumbledore are together. There is this moment where they write that Dumbledore takes out this cigarette lighter. And I was like, Dumbledore smokes? I was like, I don't remember that. Like, that's probably why he croaked. Like, I know why he croaked. I watched the movies. But yeah, I was like, what is that? And then I was like, oh yeah. He takes the lights from the street lamps with that, what is it called? Put outer. Very cool. So Dumbledore and McGonagall are having a little conversation about, the noise and happenings that are going on in the wizarding world. So it's kind of rumored that Voldemort has killed Lily and James Potter, and that this little boy, he couldn't even kill him, and it seems that he's defeated, and that's why everybody's celebrating. Also, Hagrid is introduced as well, and they even mentioned, which I was so shocked, that Hagrid got his little flying motorcycle from a young Sirius Black. So he's like mentioned at the very beginning. She thought of everything like from like the onset. So that's like, it's already a lot of characters that are I have to keep up with. We got Dudley, we got Petunia, we got Uncle Dursley, we got Dumbledore, we got McGonagall, Harry, Hagrid, Voldemort. Like, it's just a few pages and we're already at like so many people. I think that's like very daunting as well to continue. And I don't know what Godric's Hollow is, but of course I will find out. Probably some shop or something near Diagon Alley. I don't know. But yes, I will catch up with you guys a little bit later once I read a little bit more. I'm trying to see if I can actually stop on the 5th chapter. I would like to just break up this the first book, The Philosopher's Stone, into just 3 videos. So like there are about 17 chapters or so I'm gonna break it to about like 5 to 6 to 7 videos per video. By the way, I decided to just braid up the hair and just leave it like this because it was just not giving what it was supposed to get. The hair did not give what it was supposed to give. And I put, of course, the Deathly Hallows beanie, Scully, I don't know, the hat on, and you can tell I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good. Yeah, so this is so funny. Like I think it's really interesting that I've seen the films and I can really imagine everything as it was in the movie, where that snake scene where the glass of course vanishes, and it's just so epic and fun. The one thing that I'm trying to come to grips with is that Dudley's hair is supposed to be blonde. Of course I knew this before, but I completely forgot. So yeah, that's something that's like I love the way she writes. The writing is extremely descriptive, so I really appreciate that. It's very cool that you can visualize everything that is pretty much being written. I'm just gonna read to you this little section here of the vanishing glass, the moment. Dudley came waddling toward them as fast as he could. "Out of the way, you!" he said, punching Harry in the ribs. Caught by surprise, Harry fell hard on the concrete floor. What came next happened so fast no one saw how it happened. 1 second, Piers and Dudley were leaning right up close to the glass. The next, they had leapt back with howls of horror. Harry sat up and gasped. The glass front of the boa constrictor's tank had vanished. The great snake was uncoiling itself rapidly, slithering out onto the floor. People throughout the reptile house screamed and started running for the exits. As the snake slid swiftly past him, Harry could have sworn a low, hissing voice said, "Brazil, here I come. Thanks, amigo." The keeper of the reptile house was in shock. "But the glass," he kept saying. "Where did the glass go?" The zoo director himself made Aunt Petunia a cup of strong sweet tea while he apologized over and over again. Piers and Dudley could only gibber. As far as Harry had seen, the snake hadn't done anything except snap playfully at their heels as it passed. But by the time they were all back in Uncle Vernon's car, Dudley was telling them how it had nearly bitten off his leg, while Piers was swearing it had tried to squeeze him to death. But worst of all, for Harry at least, was Piers calming down enough to say, "Harry was talking to it, weren't you, Harry?" Uncle Vernon waited until Piers was safely out of the house before starting on Harry. He was so angry he could hardly speak. He managed to say, "Go, cupboard, stay, no meals," before he collapsed into a chair and Aunt Petunia had to run and get him a large brandy. So, that's not the end of that chapter, by the way. I will be doing that as well. I found a recipe from this YouTuber who is quite passionate about Harry Potter and the meals that were the recipes and the foods that were presented in the Wizarding World. So I found a recipe for a cocktail, and of course I'll link it below his channel, and you guys can go check him out. He did a good job with the presentation. Everything looked very creative and well thought out, and just like his hard work through the lens of a camera. So you can really see his passion for Harry Potter and food. So we're going to be doing a large brandy cocktail. It's not going to be large enough for me to, but we're going to try the recipe and I will see how that tastes. So we're going to be using a few different things, not too many things. It's about like 4 or 5 ingredients. Very simple, very cool. I even ended up buying an official bartender shaker thing with a steel metallic feel, so when things are chilly. It's pretty much a martini, what we're going to kind of have, but I don't have an official martini glass, which is fine, I guess. It'll still taste good, So yeah, I'm going to need to head to the store to see if I can pick up a few ingredients, meaning some alcohol and cherries and vermouth and bitters and things of that sort. And of course, I'll be linking the recipe below and telling you all of the measurements that I did use. Before I do continue, I want to say they introduced Marge, which is I think that's Uncle Vernon's sister, so the woman who played Mrs. Trunchbull and Matilda. So she's already been introduced. And like the very beginning of Harry Potter, I never would have thought that this is how it went. So that's really cool. A lot of characters that I have to keep up with. And we haven't even gotten to Hogwarts yet, because that's when you'll meet everybody. All the professors, all of the crew, all of the students, all of the bad guys. Oh my gosh, there's so much. All of the history. There's so many characters. It's like, what the heck? So I'm a little nervous about that. It's kind of daunting, to be very frank, like trying to keep up with that, but I'm trying to take it nice and slow, chapter by chapter, and dissecting the story so I can really follow it and understand this universe. Okay, so I'm going to get dressed, put on my coat, leave this hat on, and go for a little walk. It had been snowing earlier, and I think it stopped. And it is so darn cold outside. It was about like 13 or 16 degrees, give or take, and it looks like it's just a beautiful, glorious night, but quite windy too. So we'll try to protect ourselves as best as possible. So I'd like to just, get out of the apartment and just stretch my legs a little bit before I continue reading. We'll be running errands and grabbing our ingredients for the cocktail. So I'll quickly do that. I'm not going to show any shots at the liquor store, of course, but that's what we'll be doing. Maybe stop for a donut or something. I don't know. But yeah, it is quite freezing out there, and I'm so excited to just get some fresh, cold air into my lungs, and of course, move my body. Hey guys, it is so darn cold. I forgot my gloves, and you can really see the pink, my pink fingertips. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, it is so windy and cold, as you can tell. It is extremely cold, but what makes it so nice is that some people still have their lights up, so that's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to just go ahead and put this away and keep my hands in my pocket. I'm gonna keep my hands to myself. Okay, catch you in a sec. Quick thought about a Mcgonagall being a cat. Is that the same kind of idea like Sirius being a dog and I don't know his name, Lupin being a werewolf? Is that the same thing? And Harry's dad being a doe or a deer?
36, but last year, I'm 37! a bit bigger than last year.
I don't care how big they are! No. This is what we're going to do. Is that when we go out, we're going to buy you 2 new dresses. How's that,
The
pumpkin?
birds find warmer ground, and every willow finds its pillow. Waves relinquish sound, although the skies turn cold and breezes followed suit. The autumn love that's cling to me will never bite the boot. I will not love again.
Okay guys, so welcome to cocktail hour. So we have all the ingredients that we need for Vernon's drink. I have some martini glasses that I just picked up, and there's already a chunk of ice in one of them. You can hear that. My little tools that I'm probably not even going to be needing. We're not muddling anything or needing to mix like that. Angostura bitters. We're going to need about 2 to 3 dashes of that. Brandy, which is about 60 milliliters. Vermouth, which is like a fortified wine, with some apparently botanical essences or infusions and whatnot. And of course, maraschino cherries. Oh, which are my favorite. I always ask people for their maraschino cherries at restaurants. So, and that's our drinking glass, and we got the book and the whole setup. And I did get dressed up a little bit for the cocktail hour. The one thing that we do need to do, that's just my own kind of preference, I would like to taste these two, the vermouth and the brandy, just to see what they taste like. I've never had brandy before. That's the metallic shaker piece, which is here. I'm going to try it. Just a little sippy sip. Oh my goodness, this is so... Smells like alcohol. I have like literally less than a teaspoon in here. Let's taste this. Tickle, tickle. Whew. Fire. That's alcohol. That's alcohol. I'm just kidding. It's not that intense, but it is certainly it's strong. I wonder what the proof. Yep. 80 proof in my veins. I'm gonna actually I forgot the jigger. I forgot the little measuring two-sided measuring cup that comes with the set. So let me quickly go grab that. We're back. Found it. So this little device here, this little tool, will help us measure the brandy and vermouth accordingly. So one side is 15 milliliters and the other is 30. So we're going to need, and all the measurements and Bradley's channel will be listed below because that's where I got the recipe from. This is a metropolitan drink. Something that I've never done is cocktail mixing. So excited to see how this works out. Okay, so we need 60 milliliters. Ooh. So exciting. This is so exciting. Okay, so brandy is put away. Let's put it back. Oh, she's heavy. All right, and then we're gonna need the word that I was looking for earlier was infused. So it's like a fortified wine infused with botanicals. So that's so fun. Okay, so then that would be 30 milliliters for the vermouth. Oh, I actually wanted to taste that too. So let's just dump that in our shaker set. and quickly taste this. Oh my gosh, let me brace myself, get ready if there's any proof in here. Okay, 15% alcohol, so sounds like a little, like an essence. Instead of being like a strong cologne or a strong perfume that you buy at Macy's, it might be something that you get out of at Ross or something, like a little body spray, body mist. Yeah, this doesn't seem like it's gonna. Yeah, absolutely not the same reaction that I have from the brandy. That's like something that I feel like pirates could drink. Even though the brandy is something that I feel like pirates really would drink, but this tastes like the sea or something. I don't know. Huzzah! Ugh, it's so heavy. I forgot to mention that I already have 1 teaspoon of simple syrup in here, which is just equal parts water and sugar that you just kind of boil over a medium-high heat. It was very easy to do, first time doing that. So let's grab our angostura aromatic bitter. I'm definitely not going to try this by itself because it says it's bitter, so, you know, you never know. You're supposed to have about, ooh, oh my goodness, 2 to 3 dashes. We're just gonna do 2 dashes. 1, 2, give or take. That was about like 5 drops. Oh, a little fell on my thumb. Let's try it. I didn't taste a dang thing. Maybe I tasted the lotion that was on my hand. Okay, so, oh, this is so nerve-wracking. I've never done something like this before, so we're gonna grab our ice that we have here. There you go. Yeah, it's not too large because I didn't want it to dilute, you know, the drink all that much. And I think that's everything. Yeah, I'm gonna shake it up now. Cue the James Bond music. Shake it, not stir. Oh my god, here we go. Woo! Okay. It's shaken as best as I could shake it. It's busy. Alrighty, so do I drop the cherry in before or after? I'm gonna do it before, just so we're not making too big of a mess. My maraschino cherry. Ugh. That's probably the best part of this drink, honestly. Oh god. They call me Death Grip Tan. I'm just gonna use my hands. Pop that in there. It's just me. So we got our cherry nice and beautiful in there in this gorgeous, gorgeous cup. Time for the drink, the moment of truth. Wow, looks really pretty. Here she is. Here she goes. All right, let's try it out. That brandy is strong. The brandy is strong. It tastes almost like whiskey. I think I prefer a Washington apple or a Manhattan. It tickles right here. I hope you enjoyed watching me make Vernon's drink. I could totally see how this could relax Vernon from Harry Potter's, you know, antics. Yeah. That brandy is very strong. Like, I thought, you know, whiskey was strong, but this is pretty strong. Yeah, this is something I need to be careful with. Definitely drink responsibly. Yeah, this is delicious though. But I do prefer other drinks. So the Metropolitan is not a drink for me, I don't think. So just to catch you guys up, we're done with our first 5 chapters of the book, which means that we are closing this vlog. But I did want to read a couple little inserts here, or excerpts, from the story. So basically, letters were coming in through the mail slot and under the door cracks and through the fire, the chimney. I was gonna say the fire escape. And they're all letters addressed to Harry, and they are very funny because they're quite specific as to the location that Harry's actually in. So it's like, you know, they know that he's under the cupboard, or they know that he's in Dudley's bedroom, or they know that he might be in the middle of nowhere, in the ocean. So they're quite, they're aware. They're quite aware of where Harry is actually located, and it makes Vernon and Petunia quite paranoid. Like, are they spying on us? Are they watching the house? So I think it's hilarious. Harry was not able to, of course, read a letter. I always think in the movie, like, bruh, you should have just grabbed one on the floor and stuffed it into your pants or something, you know? So it's like, so yeah, it's so funny. Every time that I'm reading a section for Vernon, I'm just laughing because I know his voice. I know his, like, his demeanor, his fashion, his way of speaking. So it's just, he's literally going mad and not delirious, but hysterical. And that's what Dudley points out when he's like, no post on Sundays.
Fine day, Sunday. No post on Sunday.
No, sir. So it's so funny. They, the family, meaning Petunia, Dudley, Harry, and Vernon, they all got packed up in the car. Dudley was trying to bring a bunch of things, video games, TV set, toys, and et cetera, and you know, Vernon's kind of like putting his foot down and starting to get a little frustrated with him. And they all head out to this hotel, which was not in the movie, and they're like, they won't be able to find us here. But of course they do, because it's magic, right? So what's it called? So the person at the front desk, they receive hundreds of letters addressed to Harry, of course, and they give it to Vernon, and he's further pissed. They drive out into the forest, and they're trying to just get away from these the onslaught of letters. And of course, that's not even far enough. So they basically go, I guess it would be the ocean. I'm not quite sure. I don't think it's specific, but they canoe their behinds out into open water where there's kind of like a boulder or a rock that's in the middle of the water, and there's some type of like structure there where they can take refuge. And you can imagine that, just like the movie, the water scene is like, it's kind of like something set out in the Bering Sea, you know, where you have kind of like almost a Viking storm going on outside. So yeah, that's really cool the way that she wrote that. So yeah, so he's like, there's no way again that somebody can find us here. Of course, Harry is cold. He's completely being maltreated by these his aunt and uncle, and yeah, it just, oh my god, it makes me like, I feel so bad for him, because it's like child neglect, child abuse, child, all of that. And if you're somebody who does things like that to children, we're through. We're through. We're done forever. You're a little chicken. I'm back. So yeah, it's like, they're just absolutely horrid. He doesn't even get a blanket to sleep, you know, in this cold stone-like place that just creaks and is just so like so scary and whatnot, and dark and freezing and wet and just you know. So of course the keeper of the keys, Hagrid, comes, and he basically makes his presence well known, that he is here for Harry and Harry alone. I absolutely love Hagrid's character. You can see that he's like, I don't know, what would you guys call him? Like an uncle or a stepfather figure or a guardian? Because my sister was saying that Snape is like more so of like a guardian for Harry. So I'm like, I don't know. yeah, so Hagrid comes and he, of course, has his astonishingly large presence because he is a giant. For the text that is, you know, written for Hagrid, it's very phonetically driven. So it's like, you better tell your mom, you know, like it's very Y-E-R and T-E-R for your, and the T-E-R. So yeah, she writes it in a fashion where you can kind of, you know, follow along his accent and his roughness and whatnot. So I love the way that Hagrid is so protective and so fond of Harry. He's absolutely just like, that's the person that he like looks out for, and I absolutely just love that. And we've discussed they've discussed in the book that you know, he needs to go to Gringotts, which is the wizarding bank, and he's and they've introduced a couple of other characters, Quirrell and Professor Quirrell and Mr. Ollivander. I'm still getting used to the names. It's like, it's a whole world that I'm gonna have to take my time with again. So just gonna read two little sections here for you guys, and then that'll be that. So I like the way that Petunia's character is written. So okay. A muggle, said Hagrid. It's what we call non-magic folk, like them. And it's your bad luck you grew up in a family or the biggest muggles I ever laid eyes on. We swore when we took him in, we'd put a stop to that rubbish, said Uncle Vernon. Swore we'd stamp it out of him. Wizard indeed. You knew, said Harry. You knew I'm a wizard. Knew, shrieked Aunt Petunia suddenly. Knew. Of course we knew. How could you not be my dratted sister, being what she was? Oh, she got a letter just like that and disappeared off to that school and came home every vacation with her pockets full of frog spawn, turning teacups into rats. I was the only one who saw her for what she was, a freak. But for my mother and father, oh no, it was Lily this and Lily that. They were proud of having a witch in the family. She stopped to draw a deep breath and then went ranting on. It seemed she had been wanting to say all this for years. And then she met that Potter at school, and they left and got married and had you. And of course I knew you'd be just the same, just as strange, just as abnormal. And then, if you please, she went and got herself blown up when we got landed with you. Harry had gone very white. As soon as he found his voice, he said, Blown up? You told me they had died in a car crash. A car crash? Roared Hagrid. I'm literally doing the movie at this point because it doesn't say a car crash, it just says car crash. Roared Hagrid, jumping up so angrily that the Dursleys scuttled back to their corner. I love this kind of like back and forth where it's like 2 steps forward for Vernon and Petunia, and then a few steps back because they're like, they find bravery and courage, and then they become, you know, timid and shy and afraid again. So yeah, with Hagrid's presence. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and fast forward to another little section of the Keeper of the Keys chapter. Okay. So this is Hagrid talking, mid-sentence, mid-paragraph I'm doing here. He'll be with youngsters of his own sort for a change, and he'll be under the greatest headmaster Hogwarts ever had, Albus Dumbledore. I'm not paying for some crackpot old fool to teach him magic tricks, yelled Uncle Vernon. But he had finally gone too far. Hagrid seized his umbrella and whirled it over his head. Never, he thundered, insult Albus Dumbledore in front of me. He brought the umbrella, swishing down through the air, to point at Dudley. There was a flash of violet light, a sound like a firecracker, a sharp squeal, and the next second, Dudley was dancing on the spot with his hands clasped over his fat bottom, howling in pain. When he turned his back on them, Harry saw a curly pig's tail poking through a hole in his trousers. Uncle Vernon roared, pulling Aunt Petunia and Dudley into the other room. He cast one last terrified look at Hagrid and slammed the door behind them. So it's interesting because they don't mention that he was like eating cake or anything like that. So that's funny. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this little concentrated Harry Potter reading vlog. There will be another one to come for the next 5 to 6 chapters, and I just can't wait to go further into the book. Yeah, like I feel like I'm finally in the right place to read Harry Potter as an adult. I absolutely love the idea where the saying when people go like, oh, I wish I could go back, or I wish I could have my brain erased so I can experience that all over again, you know, as a new fresh thing. So I'm like, I hope you're jealous. I'm just kidding. But yeah, at this point, I am closing out the vlog. I haven't made the I'm gonna be honest, this is past Tanya. Yeah, I haven't made the cocktail yet, so I don't know how it turns out. You will definitely get a proper reaction from me once I mix everything together. Unfortunately, when I went to the store, the girl didn't put my bitter in there because I needed something called angostura bitters, and it wasn't in my bag. She left it out of the bag. Like, what you doing? This is me getting riled up. But yeah, so it's like, I was supposed to film that kind of the same day and whatnot, but she left the bitters out, and I need that. I have all the ingredients for it, but I really wanted to make it like quite as close and authentic as possible. So that's what it is. So I haven't had the cocktail yet, so hopefully that turns out really well, and I will be speaking in the proper tense when I do get to that point of the video. Okay guys, so thank you so much again for watching. I hope you found it very cozy and very fun, my reactions and insight into Harry Potter. The next chapter that we're going to go into is the journey from platform 9 3/4. So I'm so excited to do the next 5 with you. Stay tuned for that. I am just taking my time with the vlogs for Harry Potter. They are concentrated vlogs, and I don't want to rush it. I just wanted to be able to start the series this year to, you know, dip my toes into that Hogwartsian pool. That's not a real word. But yes, I'll catch you guys in my next video. Bye.
Saw you in the park on Wednesday. You were dressed